Is this thing on? It is on. Is this thing on? Oh, it's on. One of my personal favorites, Shotgun Betty. I don't know if you can get this where you're at. I live in North Carolina. It's brewed in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's a Weissen, and it's an ale, and it's pretty good. It's definitely one of my favorites. All right, a little something different for you today. I do have a trick battle video coming up after this video, but this one I had an opportunity to interview Anthony Shetler from All I Need Skateboards, and we're gonna play that for you. And I really hope you enjoy it. Like, if you love skateboarding and kind of nerd out about that and learned about people and the business side of what he's built, like, we talk about it all. So I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna drink this and watch it for the first time while you watch it, and I'll catch you on the back end. Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sitting here and I've got the owner, operator, I believe shipper, board maker, and all around everything of All I Need Skateboards, and Anthony Shelter.
Yeah.
All right. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate you being here today. I bought a little something from the All I Need website, which is a board incredibly hard to get. You guys are sold out quite a bit. I've been trying to get a board, specific 825, for a while. I know you run thin, but I wanted to take this opportunity, not just open a box, like, hey, I got this All I Need skateboard, but hey, introduce the world to you that doesn't know you. I'm sure most skateboarders do, but you never know. So I thought we'd just bring it all together.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks for that introduction, man. And you're absolutely right. It's a one-man, well, not necessarily a one-man show, because my sister helps me out and the team riders will come in and pack boxes when I need them. But yeah, man, I'm shipping boards. I'm doing the marketing. It's very much a homegrown, from the grassroots brand. And we've been at it, man. And lately it's been insane with the pandemic and trying to keep boards in stock, which is a gift and a curse, you know, because it's
Absolutely.
like, yeah, the boards are flying, and then it's just trying to re-up and keep inventory in is like a whole new game. But it's a exciting time. So
when did you start All I Need?
Okay, so 2020, about 10 years ago. It was like 2009, 2010, when I had the idea of starting a skateboard company.
So right after the recession, you're like, I'm starting a skateboard company.
Yeah, because I lost my sponsors due to the recession, which was my livelihood. I was getting paid just to go skateboard and travel the world and film video parts and live out my dream, which I definitely was doing. It was unbelievable. But recession happened, lost all my sponsors, didn't know what I was going to do. So I just like had that mantra of like, all I need, like, what do I need? Like, focus on what I need. Because I was dealing with the crisis of losing my sponsors, which was sort of my identity, because I was so used to just being a pro skateboarder, and like that was my livelihood and who I was. So I just like brought it back to the basics and was like, what do you really need in life? And I was like, well, I need my friends. I got that. I need my family. Got that. And then skateboarding, because it's been with me since I was 12. And I was just like, those are simple things that I already have in my life that I can just focus my energy and time on. So that became the mantra, all I need. And I started, I was like, I'm doing a brand, just because I lost my corporate sponsors and they said the party was over. I was like, I looked at my friends and I was like, let's keep the show going, dude. Like, I'll do all the work. I don't care. Like, we'll figure it out. I don't care if it fails. Like, let's just try. So I started with t-shirts and started selling them. And I had a skate team built, and we just went from there, man.
That's awesome. And you put the cards like back in your hands. You know, why depend on sponsors that can come and go as they please when you can create something from scratch and you own it and it's your vision and it's your touch? Like, that's the way to do it. Everyone should create something. Like, I've never created anything in my life and I picked up a skateboard in December 2017 and said, I'm going to make YouTube videos. I don't know how to skate. I don't know how to film, and I don't know how to edit. And it's been an incredible learning process. And I think it's helped me with how I view other problem sets that I face on a day-to-day business. Like, how can I fight through this, or how can I problem solve based off that? And if I can make some skateboarding tricks happen with an uncoordinated 220-pound 43-year-old, you know, and learn how to edit and film with, I have no artistic ability at all. So this is all definitely helped me with so many other aspects of life.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
man. It's
So,
unbelievable.
so I get the all I need idea. You know, after one of your videos, I think it was right after the Good Eye video, which was amazing, by the way. Like,
Thank you.
did you film and edit that?
My friend Sam Kern, he did the majority of the filming. I did film some clips in there. But yeah, usually with our videos, I just team up with someone who loves filming and has been doing it for a long time. And I'll tell him like, hey, we're working on a project. Like, can you just rally the troops and get it going? And that's usually because I'm working on a video part and, you know, I'm the one being filmed. Yeah. But I don't know. That might have been my last part, if I'm being honest, just because my knee's junk and I don't know if I could top it, you know? So, but yeah, I filmed a couple clips in it, really.
It was after that video, I bought the shirt and I was like, man, I just got to support these dudes. And then I was skating in my driveway and I was like, man, just not feeling it. I need to go do something like that's going to give me energy. It was like, it was right at the start of the quarantine, you know, nowhere to go. And I heard about a little DIY spot and like, that's what I needed. I needed a change of environment that bled skateboarding. And I went to this DIY park and I made this video, you know, all I need is, you know, to get out there and tried to support you guys a little bit in my slappy board slides video. But I thought it was pretty cool and I had a great time. And, you know, for me to get out to a DIY park and just slam over and over again. I don't know why. Super satisfying.
Yeah, that's definitely like a good day. If you just get out there, even that's the best thing about skateboarding is you can go out there, do it by yourself. You could do it with a team if you want. Like, it's whatever you want. It's just like it's the vehicle that you can put your energy and life force into. And I used to do it all the time. Just have a bad day, I would use it. I'd be having a bad day and I'd go out and just like, I would just get mad at my board and throw it around and take slams. But it's like, that's what I needed. I needed some way to get my aggression out and whatnot. Yeah. And it just helped me kind of like with therapy like that. At the end, I'd be like almost in tears, kind of mad that I went skating, but I just feel better, you know?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Well, at least I went out there and did something and like got out the emotion that's in me. So absolutely. Yeah, I love that about skating.
So what's the goal? Or I don't want to say goal because that sounds terrible, like a business goal, but like, what's the goal for All I Need? Are you, because it's an idea as much as it is a company. Like, how do you spread the idea of All I Need and build a brand, but keep it the importance of what it is to you? Yeah.
So, I mean, we definitely have plans. We have business plans and we have goals for the riders and stuff like that, just because anything that is stagnant isn't growing. So we're constantly trying to push forward or go backwards and fix the gaps that we need to, you know, so that we can move forward eventually. So, but mostly it's just invest in skateboarding as much as I can, because that's the roots of the brand. So a brand is just people that come together that gain skills to learn how to promote and market and produce and do all the things that it takes to run a brand. So I just invest heavily into skateboarders, man. Like, I've always had a strong team of young people that are trying to be positive and optimistic, that have good work ethics, that we talk things out. Like, that's hence why I started the podcast, so we could constantly be talking things out and staying on the same page and figuring out what we're aiming at and like have good communication. It's all about like growth and life, you know? Like, I just want to see anyone involved with the brand or people that represent or love the brand that buy the stuff. Like, I just want to see us be successful in life, because that's the idea behind All I Need is like, you know, you have everything you need, so let's build off of that. And if you don't have what you need, figure out what you do need to be happy so that you can look at it and go, oh yeah, it's very simple and basic things I need in my life. Now let's build off of that. And that's helped me tremendously in life. So I just invest in team riders, man. I get a bunch of people around me that get it and that want to be healthy, happy, and successful, and they're dreamers. They're aiming towards the future, but they're not scared to work for it. So that's how we move forward, man. Like
awesome.
Anytime something is like feeling like it's stalling out or whatever, I'm like, let's take a second. Let's re-examine this and figure out how we can fix things, or how we can aim at something that will help us or help the brand together. And I literally take everything I make from the brand and put it right back into it, so that we can keep adding on, get new products, do a skate trip, make a new skate video. Like, my main goal is just to have a lifetime full of memories with a lot of awesome people. And if we work hard, we'll be able to do whatever we want to do, whether we want to have beginner complete skateboards, or all I need wheels, or grip tape, or like we've had 50 graphics now, like
the graphics are
artists.
Graphics are crazy.
Thank you, man. But yeah, we just hold on to each other, man. We find each other, we work hard, and then we find ways to make it work.
Who does the graphic art for you?
It's my friend Peter James Glenn, and my sales rep introduced me to Peter. And Peter's an awesome dude who's actually about to have a baby, so that's pretty awesome.
Congratulations!
Yeah, he's just amazing at art. He teaches school, and so he's a teacher. He loves art. That's his main passion. So I just constantly try to give him as much work as possible so he can make some money and indulge in what he loves, because he's great at it. And we've been working with him from the beginning, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. Some grip tape art would be sick.
Yeah, we're working towards that, man. 2021, we got some good stuff in the works. So awesome.
All right, let's see what I got here. See, so do you put the graphics on every board? Like, I've seen you in the videos, like, heat pressing graphics. Like, are you the guy?
Yeah, man. At this point, I'm thousands of boards in, man. I've been heat pressing them. Like, I keep my full-time job as well, because I literally don't take anything from the brand, because I'd rather see it grow and do more, like with my friends. And like, I get high from just like watching it grow and watching people like it, because like you said, it's more than just product. It's an idea. So the more the idea spreads, and I know how much an idea has helped me with just focusing on the necessity of things and building off of it. So I keep my full-time job, and I rent out space there, and I have a heat press machine and all that stuff. So I'll literally work, go drive a box truck, fill it full of boxes. I pick up a clothes and apparel, and come back and punch out. And I work every day till about 9, 10 at night. I'll punch out and just straight press skateboards for hours. And sometimes the riders will come by and help me. Sometimes my sister comes by, and we're just pressing boards nonstop, especially now with the pandemic and there's like a built up demand because there was a hiccup in production.
Yes.
So now it's just like, I can't get enough boards in. So I'm just constantly pressing until I can get the next shipment in. So yeah, every all I need deck that you see out there, you buy, like, my hands have touched it. I've lined that graphic up. I've literally blood, sweat, and tears in that thing. That's awesome.
I noticed that the first when I wore the shirt, like, the packaging, I know this sounds stupid, but like, the packaging was so professional. Like, the way with plastic was sealed, there's a pin in there, there's a sticker in there. Like, it looked like, hey, I give a crap, and I'm gonna put some time in a package just so when you open it, you feel like you got what you ordered. It wasn't a shirt shoved in an envelope and shipped out. Like, there was care put behind it, and it was obvious.
Yeah, man, that's something you learn as you start a brand, because you start out and you just like want to get the goods to them, but as you go, you're like, oh no, these people are invested, like mentally and financially, and they like the brand, and they're willing to put their money into it. And it's like, yeah, the least I could do is make it feel like something cool when you open it up. It
did. Like, it was like I got what I ordered, but like, I was hyped again to receive it, because like, you open it, it's like, oh man, this is nice. Like, I don't know, there was just something there that made it a little extra special, and I just wanted to let you know that didn't go unnoticed. Like, that's effort from the start to finish, from product design to production to delivery. If you're meeting all those requirements, for the good of the business and for your customers, like, that's hard to beat, man.
Yeah, thank you. That feedback means a lot, because sometimes I'm doing these things And I never went to college or anything. Like I've figured this all out just through like brute force, you know, like trial and error. I mean, I rode for a bunch of big brands, so I paid attention. Like I was a sponge and took in all that they were doing. But yeah, it means a lot to me, the feedback, because sometimes I don't get it. So like when I do get it, it helps me go, oh, you know, you are doing the right things, you know?
Yeah, you are. And experience is the greatest teacher. I mean, you can learn all you want from books and everything, but if you don't have the experience to test that knowledge, it's useless.
Yeah, you know? Skateboarding, right? Skateboarding, you want to do all those tricks. People can tell you exactly how to do them, but unless you put that time in and get the experience yourself, you're never gonna. You'll until you do that, you'll forge your own style and you'll figure it out. But
100%.
Yeah, it's just experience.
I've never learned anything from winning. I've only learned from failing.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Like I have a trick battle video coming up, and I'm just trying this trick over and over and over again. And I don't know how to do the trick. No one's there to really help me out. And when people do explain it, now they make it sound so easy. Like, man, I never get it. But you just keep small little improvements or changes. I'm going to try this. Nope, that wasn't it. Try this. I'm going to try that. Nope. You just keep making these minute changes one after another. And eventually your body and your brain just come together and it just works, you know, but it's the smallest changes make all the difference in the world.
And I love that about skateboarding, because it's a nonstop challenge that you can just keep chipping away at. It's sustaining. Like it's you can't beat it in one session. It's like you can have I'm 38 and I still am challenged by skateboarding, and it's those little things, you know. There's always another inch you can gain, like there and there, and it just adds to the whole thing. I love that about it.
And it weeds out the quitters. Like you can get something today and you may not have it tomorrow. Like, and a lot of people would just, they're done at that point. Man, I could do this yesterday and now I can't do it. And no, man, like it's skateboarding. You have to work for it and you have to earn it every single day. You know?
Yeah. You got to remember too, that you're building something that takes a long time. So you got to think like you're forging your style, and the more you keep going, there's going to be new tricks that open up over time. If you learn how to turn backside better, you'll get backside 180s, and then you'll get back tails if you work on them. And like, it's definitely, what's that expression or that saying where it's like, you might have, like, you win the war, but it's not, or you can win a battle, but
not win the war.
Yeah.
100%.
Like, it's a war, man. Like you got to keep going. You got to have long-term strategy. You got to aim towards the future and keep going, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Let's check to see what else I got on these questions here.
That's how skateboarding helped me in life, man. Like I was saying a little bit earlier about how I come from a broken family.
Yeah.
Like skateboarding literally gave me something to work at that was like, it wasn't instantly gratifying, but I knew that I had some control of it. You know, like just being able to balance on the thing and put hours in and then see it pay off, that gave me a feeling of control in the world when I didn't have that. I just had chaos. Like my father passed away when I was 12. He got shot, and my mom was on drugs pretty much my whole life. So I just felt like I was in a storm my whole life, like just lost out there trying to figure it out. And I felt vulnerable and scared. And when I found skateboarding, it was just something that was it grabbed my attention, and it also like showed me that if I put the hours in, it will pay off, you know, it will pay off. And that like gave me more faith in life. The fact that I knew I could put some sweat equity in and give a shit about something, and it would actually allow me to do these tricks, and it would connect me with people. And I mean, it took me all over the world. Everyone in my life I know is amazing, and all of them are from skateboarding. My lady I met through a skate shop. Like skateboarding is like never ending. Like it gives more than, and I feel that's why I feel obligated. Like that's why I started All I Need, was like skateboarding's given me more than I could ever ask for. So now it's like my turn, like, cause I have to give back now. So I had sponsors that supported me and let me live out my dream. So now I am the sponsor that supports people and tries to help them live out their version of it, you know, like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first started?
I started when I was 12 going on 13.
And then I'm guessing a local skate shop or something, you hung out and they picked you up first, or like, how did you start getting into getting sponsored?
Yeah, I went to New Bedford, Massachusetts, and I found a skate shop called Solstice Skate Shop, which is still here today. They've been around for as long as I've been skating, 24 years. and they were so cool to me, man. I was probably so annoying and just a crusty
Yeah.
little dirty
That's a
ghetto
little skate
kid.
rat.
Yeah, and they were just like the older dudes that have been in it and understood the whole world, and they were cool to me. They weren't dicks, none of that stuff, and they just introduced me to skateboarding, and I just hung around there every day. And eventually through that shop, they would have skate teams come into town and do demos, and I would meet people. So my first sponsor was Fibro. It was a small company out of New York at the time, and they would come through and do some grassroots marketing with demos, and we would meet them, and I would just say hi and get to meet them face to face, and then I'd follow up with a sponsor me tape and mini tapes, because like I wouldn't even get responses, but I would be like, I'm gonna let my work ethic speak and keep sending tapes, and not like hound them, but like just
because that's what here.
Yeah,
I'm still here.
Said. Yeah, exactly. That's what they said. They were like, oh, keep us updated on your skating. So like I would go out and film like 2 minutes of footage as I was learning tricks and as it got better, and I would keep sending it. Like not even, I didn't even really care about getting anything in return. I really just wanted them to notice me and
respect.
Be like, this kid loves it and he's getting better. And eventually that tactic worked, because I wasn't annoying. I took my time and put in work before I'd send another tape. Yeah. And then they would just keep giving me good feedback. And then we met a few times, which is crucial. And then they realized I was like a level-headed kid. And then they just were like, yeah, you want to go on some trips with us? And here's some product. And went from there.
I have to imagine just the psychology of it, living in a whirlwind of a life as a young man. And then this group of skate shop, sees something into you and gives you a chance. And now they're like, hey, you have value. Like that's what they're saying to you. You have value. Like that's gotta make you want to work a million times harder now that you have other people that want to invest into you when you've just been scrambling and fighting the whole time before that.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it, man. That's what I was looking for, because my mom was running wild, my father was gone. I was just looking for some healthy, happy adults to be like, yeah, you're doing great, man. Keep going. Like whatever you're doing is like we're in it with you, and that's what I got. I got like some validation, man, and it saved my life from that.
That's awesome.
One of my first big skate trips, I literally went to Japan with Fibro, and I was living in the projects in New Bedford. So and I had never been out of the country. And I literally flew from the projects to Japan because they were so cool, man. They're like, let's go. And then when I hit 18, I just was like, you know what, I'm going out west. And I just got in a van with a couple of friends that wanted to scum it out there. And we just drove out there. The side of the van door fell off on the trip, and we had to jerry rig it on. And
nice.
Yeah, man, it was on when I hit 18,
So who were your first sponsors?
So Solstice Skate Shop. Mm-hmm. And then from there I went to Fibro Skateboards, and then Fibro introduced me to the deluxe guys out in San Francisco. So I was getting stuff from Spitfire and Thunder.
Nice.
And then that's kind of when I was driving out west. We went out to San Francisco and met up with Jim Thiebaud and Mickey Reyes and all of the deluxe guys, which is like Thunder, Spitfire, Real, Crooked, Anti-Hero. And they started hooking us up and helping us get in Thrasher Mag and all that stuff, man.
When was your first Thrasher Mag? When did you make that the first time? You remember?
Oh, man. The timeline. So I don't have the timeline in my head. I do have a closet right here full of the majority of magazines that I've been in. Because when I started getting hooked up with people, they would tell me hey, if you really want to be pro, you got to put in work. So at that time it was videos and magazines. Yeah. And they were like, hey, we can link you up with photographers, but you got to go out and try to shoot checkouts in every magazine. So I did that. I had a checkout in Skateboarder magazine, Transworld, Thrasher, Slap, all of them at one point or another, And then when I turned pro, it was the same thing. They're like, oh, you're pro now. You need to promote the products. I was like, well, line me up with these photographers, and we'd go out and I'd shoot full length interviews and Slap, Skateboarder, all of them, all the magazines I could get in. So, but I don't remember exact dates, just it's a haze, man.
Photographers and filmers, again, I'm just a regular guy that makes YouTube videos on my own with a tripod. And I can already tell you, those guys are like superheroes. Someone that's willing to go out there and just photo and film over and over and over again. I'm blown away by the art and the time that they put in. because man, if I ask like a friend to like film like 6 times in a row, like, man, you done yet? You know, like those dudes are beasts.
No, it's so true, man. Like that's what I always say about having a brand, and like is like we don't always need more pro skateboarders. Sometimes we need a filmer. Sometimes we need an artist. Sometimes we need a warehouse lanky. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of different roles, and they're all so important. And a filmer and photographer, those guys have helped me build me up. You know, without them, I wouldn't be able to be that pro. You know, and it's because of their patience and encouragement. A lot of I actually got along with filmers and photographers more than I did like pro skaters, because they were seemed to be more down to earth, because they were like working on a project, and like some of them didn't have big egos, and they were just like had patience. So like I would hang out with those dudes a lot and just be like, let's go film, let's go skate. And they helped me out a lot too. So I owe a lot to those guys for sure.
They have that good eye, you know?
Yeah.
So like I was thinking about the title of the video a while back, and I was like, is it good eye, the spot, the angle, the trick that was selected, or is it all those things coming together? Because maybe the name comes from somewhere else, but I was thinking, man, like I feel like it's picking the right trick at the right spot. That's what brings together a good eye.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah, I totally agree with that. The name came from, it actually ties in perfect, because when I went out to San Francisco and I was skating with the Deluxe guys, they had this dude who's a legend, Gabe Morford. He's a photographer. And I really just looked up to Gabe a lot, because he was doing what he loved, and he was just a quiet, reserved dude. But when he spoke, he just commanded the room when he spoke. He was super quiet, but when he'd speak up, it's like everybody listened to Gabe, you know? And he would say that when you'd get out of a bail, like I'd be skating some big ass handrails and I'd almost sack the thing, but I'd somehow survive it. And that's what he'd say, almost like a coach, like, good eye, you survived, just to like get you distracted from like the near death. And he'd like positive reinforcement is like, good eye, dude. And you're like, yeah, you're right. That was like, I'm glad I didn't get hurt and I did something right. Like, let's keep going. And that was his way of like just keeping you going so you could make it happen. And that's another, because when you're in the trenches filming a trick, and that was another video that we did called In the Trenches, is like you're in the trenches and you're going through war trying to get these tricks, and the filmer and the photographer and all your friends are invested in you trying to get it, because it's usually something pushing that's scary, engaging, entertaining, and everybody makes the moment, you know, and you're at war basically when you're trying to film like a gnarly trick for a video part, and you're working together because you're all working on video parts for that video. And, you know, if you all come through with the gnarliness, it's gonna be epic, you know, and add to this gem of a thing we're all making. So yeah, Good Eye started there. A lot of the references are from skate sessions, you know, for our videos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so when did you get a relationship with World?
Ooh, nice. So I went from Fibro, Solstice Skate Shop, hooked me up with Fibro. Fibro introduced me to Deluxe. I was riding for them. And then, this is a good segue, because I just had Donnie Barley on my podcast.
Yeah, I watched that podcast. And not to lie, I didn't know who he was. I had to go back and watch a bunch of videos.
Oh, rad! You must have had a good day then watching.
Yeah, so I started the podcast, and I'm like, okay, I don't know who this guy is, so I have no context. So I went back and I watched one black and white. I wish I remember the name of it. It was amazing.
Eastern Exposure.
Yeah, but this is gonna sound stupid. So many rad tricks, but you know what I liked? He's got a good push. And a guy with a good push, like, I don't know, gets my attention, like a Corey Duffel, right? Someone that's got a good push. He had a good push. And I was like, this dude's got style.
Donnie might have the best push ever.
Yeah. So I was like, that's pretty dope. So yeah, I went back. I watched a video. You had him and Brandon Westgate at the park together. That was cool. And then I watched a couple of his clips. I was like, okay, now I can finish the podcast now that I have some context around it.
Yeah. So I was riding for Fibro, and Donnie Barley had just gotten on Birdhouse. And Donnie knew me from just being the little kid around Skater Island, which is a skate park out here. It was one of the biggest ones on the East Coast for a while. And he thought I was ripping, basically. And he just reached out to me and was like, hey, man, I know you're riding for Fibro, but there's opportunity to be like the new amateur skateboarder for Tony Hawk's company, Birdhouse.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't really want to quit Fibro because it was my family and I love those guys to death. And they did so much for me, but like, I couldn't get the idea out of my mind that like, I could, like, that was my dream, was like to be in skateboard videos and magazines and travel and like see how far I could take it. So with Fibro, I just was kind of weighing the options and I was like, I don't know, like, this is such a big opportunity. I'd just kick myself in the fucking face if I didn't take it, you know? So I reluctantly took it. And, you know, I called Steve from Fibro and just told him, and I was like, man, I love you guys. Like, we've been to war together, you know, and in the vans and traveling, but I got to do this. And I was like crying. It was like breaking up with a girlfriend for sure. It was hard, man. And, but yeah, then I ended up riding for Birdhouse and I moved out west, lived in Long Beach for 2 years. Birdhouse like paid for our apartment. We had like an amateur apartment with like me, Brandon Westgate, John Goman, Sean Eaton, Matt Ball. They paid our rent. We had a van, 16 passenger van with a gas card. So we just lived in Southern California and would just go, like I said, go film with photographers from every different magazine and all the filmers and just work on creating content for the brand. And yeah, I was riding for Birdhouse for a while. And then from Birdhouse, I went to Zoo York because my friend Seamus, who was the team manager for Fibro, then Birdhouse and Zoo York, he kind of worked out a deal where we could make a little bit of money riding for Zoo York, but also live back at home. Yeah. So they came to us. I think Zoo York came to Seamus and was like, hey, we want Susky, Westgate, and Shetler to skate for Zoo York, like as a package deal. And my friend just was like, Seamus worked it out and came to us. And we were like, yeah, man, we all kind of missed our house, our home, and the East Coast. And we ended up riding for Zoo York. And Zoo York was amazing because I got to travel all over the place. Went to all through Europe, went to Australia twice, China twice. Man, so many places, unbelievable. And then Zoo York, did that for a while, put out the State of Mind video, which was a big video, and I had a full part in that.
Okay, I'll check that one out.
Yeah, State of Mind. Right. If you type in Anthony Shetler, State of Mind, my part will pop up. But you should watch the whole video. It's a really good video too. Shout out to RB Umali, legendary filmer. But yeah, I was riding for Zoo, doing all this epic stuff, living the dream, which I was so thankful for. And then World Industries just reached out because they saw my video part and they were like, you know what, like, we want to turn you pro, because I was only AM then. Yeah. And there wasn't really much talk about me going pro at Zoo York because they had a heavy squad. They had a lot of dudes on the team, and it was just kind of like they were trying to figure it out. But World Industries wasn't really cool at the time because they've been through ups and downs and they didn't really have a team. So they were trying to build a team around me, which was like an interesting concept. I was like, wow, because I've always just kind of rode for other teams. I was thrown on teams where I wasn't really the main focus, you know? But yeah, they were just like, yeah, we want to give you a pro board, pro shoe, and build it. You can help us build a skate team. So I was like, again, another amazing opportunity that I couldn't turn down. I was like, this is my dream. Like, I get to pick the homies that I skate with and like work on graphics and footwear design and all that stuff. So, and it was cool because the people that were working at World were legendary skateboarders, RP Bess and Charlie Thomas, just dudes that I watched in skate videos and admired a lot. And they were now doing the behind the scenes stuff. Like, they were shipping the boxes, they were doing marketing, like everything I do now. So like, the dream don't work unless they do the work behind the scenes, you know? And I was like, yeah, let's go. You guys are down and you want me to be the focus and help you build a team and I can have sway and influence. Let's go. And then we just did it, man. Had, 20, 30 different pro model boards, 2 different pro model shoes, low top, mid tops.
I tried to pick up some of your stock when you had them. You didn't have the size, man.
Yeah, no, the shoe now is pretty much gone, which is awesome to
So I saw that you had some up for a little bit and you're like, oh, I got this box of shoes. I was like, oh man, that would be cool.
Yeah, man. And just like World was super cool. And then we did it, man. Pro board, pro shoes, all that stuff. And then that pretty much brings us up to when the recession happened. Cause then the recession happened, and that's when World got bought and sold, and I lost my sponsor and my livelihood, and then I started All I Need. And then the crazy thing is, years later, after World dropped the whole program and I started my own thing, they came back to me. So right now, they got bought up by someone who actually understood the roots of the brand and that it's skateboarding. And they reached back out to me and saw like the 8 years of content I created with them and stuff we did. And they were like, yeah, we want you to help us build our skate program back up. And I was like, dude, my sponsors are coming back to me now. Like, okay. Yeah. So technically right now, like I do All I Need, but I also press the majority of the world industry boards, and I'm helping build their team as well. So that's pretty awesome. Rad because it's strength in numbers, which is nice.
And you get, you know, maybe an opportunity, a different perspective, more a team manager perspective instead of a hustling perspective.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm learning so much through World. I get to learn how to work with corporate people. Like,
you know, if you think of the history of skateboarding, it's almost funny, like it's full circle. So, you know, Tony Hawk's out there skating for Powell. There's a skateboard recession. World's starting to come up and take everybody out. He has to start Birdhouse just to pay his bills and survive. And then you go over there as an AM, and then you start moving. And then you get your sponsor, and then there's a real recession. And then so you start All I Need. And now you're working with World, who started kind of the chain that brought you to Birdhouse to begin with.
Yeah, I actually never really thought about it that way, but that's insane. Yeah.
that's a crazy skate. I'm a skateboard nerd more than I can do tricks, you know?
Yeah. I get that. I'm like that too, man. That's why I started the podcast, was because I nerd out. When the magazines were a big thing, I would read every interview because I wanted to know about the people behind the tricks, and that was a huge thing to me. So I love nerding out on other skaters and figuring out what makes them tick. So that's where the podcast helped me too.
Absolutely. I like the videos. Like The Man Who Sold the World, I think, is probably one of the better documentaries of any sport, any event. Like, that's just an amazing documentary.
I'm in the background, man. I'm in a few shows on that thing. Nice. Yeah. I think they thought I was Spike Jones, but like it's me, Jeremy Klein in there. I've had a few people like Ricky Iola reached out to me one day and was like, "Are you in that thing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was an amateur on Birdhouse," and Jeremy Klein was filming for The Man Who Sold the World, like the interviews, and I was hanging out with him. So I'm just like lurking in the background in that video.
That's awesome. And then the biographies, I think Rodney Mullen's book, Mutt, How to Skateboard Without Killing Yourself, is an amazing read. And I think everyone should read it. It's super solid. And if you don't read it, you won't know what it's about, like, because the title's not as clear as the story.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What made you want to serve? Like, how'd that end up happening?
I kind of always knew I was going to join. I don't come from a family that served, but I don't know. I always knew something bad would happen in my life, and I wanted to go ready. I think that's really the best way to put it, because I knew me as a person, I would join if something went bad. So why not go trained and ready versus new fresh boot off the street? So I don't know. It's just kind of, I knew college wasn't for me. That's one thing I knew for sure. You know, it's easier when you're an adult to go back to school. You've learned how to learn, and you know what's important to you and what you want to learn. I think going to college right out of high school just wasn't the right route for me. So I joined and got married, and me and the wife moved to Germany for 3 years, and had a great time. And here we are 25 years later, and she supports my skateboarding. Like, she doesn't get mad when the boxes arrive. She's fully supportive. She's given me an entire wall in my living room full of boards. So I tend to overbuy boards. I love the art. So I can't skate them all. I want to skate them all. I don't buy any board with the intent of hanging it on a wall. But then I buy too many boards. I can't skate them all. Like, I'm not going to destroy a board. I'm not breaking boards. I'm not doing stairs. So then I'm like, oh, crap, I got all these boards. And I was like, hey, can I have this wall? And she's like, yeah. So I put up all the boards on the wall. I did buy one board recently specifically for the wall. Welcome re-released Chris Miller's G&S face graphic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to have that, because growing up in the 80s, like, that was the heat. That was the heat, and I loved it. So it's got that.
Yeah. That's sick, man.
But now I'm gonna open up this box. Let's see if we can get this on camera here.
Yeah, get in there, man.
Move some stuff around. All right, I had to move the mic further away. See how it works out.
I like the green screen in the backdrop too.
Yeah, so when I first started doing my videos, I thought I was supposed to do vlog because that's what everybody does on YouTube. And then I realized you can't just wake up and do a vlog. Like you got to plan that, you got to script it. Like there's work that goes into it. I don't have time to do. So I had a bunch of nonsense, long, stupid, unplanned videos. Then I was like, that's not working. So then I started doing like a voiceover, which I kind of liked because I could just go skate and then I could come back and edit it and tell the kind of like the story of the day. And I liked that. But then I felt like I lost contact with the few people that do watch. So I was like, how can I have that interaction and still not worry about filming? I just want to hit record on the camera and I just want to go skate. Like I don't want to think about it. And I was watching this guy who does rap music video reviews, Too Lit Mafia, and he had the green screen set up and he was just talking about the the video and the lyrics while I was on. I was like, oh man, how do you make a green screen? Because again, I don't know how to film, I don't know how to skate, I don't know how to edit, I don't know any of that. So I Google it and I went to the store and I bought like 9 pieces of green construction paper and I just taped it on the wall in the place I was at the time and learned how to do it on my computer. I was like, oh, that's great. Now I can just go skate, film everything, come back, edit together, kind of think about the stories about, and then just talk about it over the top. And when I do my videos, like I haven't watched the video yet. The first time I'm watching the completed video is when I hit record to do my green screen effect. So sometimes I'm on topic, sometimes I'm saying exactly what's happening, sometimes I'm off in left field. It's a one take, like I'm doing it one time, that's all we're getting.
Yeah,
so
that's
fun.
good in the way, man. It's like fresh, it's real, it's raw. Like people like that type of content.
I asked this guy, Jay Skates. I don't know if you ever watch his camera, or his show channel. He does a lot of like shoe reviews and things like that. He's down in Georgia and skates. And I was like, why do you think people watch the channel? He's like, it's kind of like a hangout. He's like, we can just hang out with you and just watch what you're going through. He's like, we get it. You're not going to sit there and, tray flip a double set, but it's just a cool hangout. I was like, I can deal with that.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely could use some connection, hang out, talk, give people a space to talk about skateboarding or watch skateboarding. And it doesn't have to be overproduced or some big famous shit. It could just be something real and raw. We have the technology to just share what's going on,
Absolutely.
It's amazing, man. People will gravitate towards it,
I always say my skateboarding's not good enough without a narrative. Like my tricks are not going to speak for themselves. Like I've got to tell the story that goes with it, or it's just me out there falling. All right.
I felt that way growing up, man. Like that's why I always talked about my family background, because I felt like I was a pretty good skateboarder, but I wasn't like the best. But I also was like, but I have a crazy story as well,
Right.
So I kind of felt that as I felt the same way.
And that matters. Like, I don't care if you're trying to become a pro skateboarder or you're going to a job interview. There's plenty of great skateboarders out there that don't have the personality to be on a team, that don't have the story and don't have the vision to make it better. You go to a job interview, if you don't have a reason why you want that job, why that company should invest in you versus hire you, you're in the wrong spot. And they're going to know it as well.
Hell yeah. So, man.
All right. Let's check it out. 825, all I need. I like that purple top stain.
Oh yeah.
And then you press on the top as well, every board.
Yes, sir. And
right.
We also designed that sticker too, with a little skateboard under the size.
All right, now here we go. Bam. That is sick.
You notice the wood grain in the eyes?
Yes, that is sick.
Yeah, that was the artist. He was like, let's get an extra color, because you got to pay per color for the screens.
Right.
He's like, if we just leave it clear, we'll get that wood grain color as well popping through. So we're
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah, we did that.
So I'm a big gas mask guy. I oddly have a lot of gas mask tattoos.
Wow.
So when I saw this one, I was like, oh man, I got to get it. And it's available. Like I just kept checking for boards for a long time to get what I wanted. Talk to me about this rider, Timmy.
Okay, so well, first there was a series for this board. It was called the Wartime series. So we had the gas mask, we had the soldier, which was like kind of like a Vietnam soldier with a peace dove, and he's like smoking a cigarette. And then we had my deck, which is the Shetler microphone deck. It was a podcast homage. It was like a microphone that's crushing like a bunch of politicians, and there's money and feet coming out of the bottom of the microphone. But that deck in particular, Timmy Knuth, Timmy used to ride for World Industries with me. Timmy is an amazing skateboarder. He has one of the fastest flicks in skateboarding, hands down. He kickflip crooked grind Hollywood 16, which is like, yeah, mind blowing. Timmy's just an amazing skateboarder, and he's a full thoroughbred skate rat, like through and through. And then when World Industries called it quits during the recession, I was like, Timmy, let's keep going, man, because we've been building World up and traveling together, and we just became like brothers. I was like, dude, the party's not over, like, because he was pro too with World, and his whole thing was coming crashing down. So I was like, Timmy, just get a job and help me build all I need. And he was down, dude. So
he's been in from the start, from the get-go.
Yeah, Timmy's been killing it, man, and he's
That's awesome.
He's just an amazing human who rips. One of the best skateboarders on the planet.
I've noticed a lot of from your videos, maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of your riders they're your friends, and they're East Coasters, local dudes. Like, you're not going after the next great hype on Instagram. Like, you keep a really close knit family. Is that correct? And like, how important is that to you?
Yeah, 100%, man. Like, when I look for a team rider, I look more at the character of the person before they're skateboarding. I really want to find people that I can like grow and work with, and that are going to add value to it. So like, they got to have their life together. They got to be figuring it out and like willing to try, you know? And then the skating, then I look at the skating, because they gotta be equally as good. They got to keep up with the skating and be pursuing that, you know? But like, to me, sometimes just your personal character can outweigh your skating, you know?
Absolutely.
So yeah, every dude I ever looked for, I'm like, I got to make sure I like this person as a human, and that they're aiming at trying to be successful in life. And no matter what that is, you know, it doesn't mean they're trying to make millions, but they're just trying to carve out a life that they'd be proud of. And then if they keep up with their skating, and usually if someone's trying really hard and you can tell they have a goal and a vision, their skating's unbelievable. So it's nice, but it's hard to find the combination, you know?
Right. I mean, if you're a good person of character, you tend to also be someone that builds trust from other people. And when you build trust, like, that means you've done some self-development and you're willing to develop others. So it's like it's a full circle. I hate to say it's a leadership model, but it is a leadership model. You have to build trust. And the only way you can do that is be a person of character and show that you're willing to develop others, and you have the personal skill set to develop others. So
yeah, because there's a lot of kids, man, that are amazing at skateboarding, and I look at them and I'm like, wow, these kids are so talented. And then you meet them and they're kind of lost, and they might just be self-centered, or they're just like, they think their skating is more important than their character, you know? And I'm like, dude, man, like, there's work behind everything. Like, even if like they just want someone to pay for them to do live the fucking dream, you know? And it's like, you gotta like work for it, and you can't be an asshole, man. You can't think your tricks make you better than anyone. And there's like a lot of young kids like that, you know, that are just kind of lost. So
you're not going to skate the pool unless you drain the pool and sweep the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're not just going to show up.
Yeah. So like, that's something that you go through when you're young, is you might be like kind of full of it and think you're the shit because you can juggle really well, you know? But it's like, you know, how can you be lifted up by other people if you treat them like shit? It's like, you got to be cool to other people, and then they'll want to lift you up a little higher, you know, because that's how it works, you know? It's like, you can't just like ignore everyone, kind of talk down to them, but be really good and think they're going to be like, yeah, he's the man. It's like, no, like, you got to actually be down to earth and like hang out with the people in the community, and like, you know, not be too good. And that's something you just learn as a young kid. Like, you make the mistake of doing that, you know, like.
And that's something we talked about, you know, before we started this interview. Is like, when I watch your videos, I always see how pumped you are for other people's success. Like, the videos could be all about you just skating, but they're not. They're There's your team riders, there's the kids at the skate park, and you're just as pumped for a kid who gets a first 50-50 as you are for a pro just, doing something gnarly. And that's something I always take away from your videos. Like you have like it's like a genuine joy. Like you're just pumped. You can hear you behind the camera just fucking giggling, when someone gets something good.
Oh man, I come home and tell my lady all about it, and she's kind of into it,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this little Chloe, she's ripping. I'm like talking about a 12-year-old girl learning how to backside 180,
That's awesome.
But it just juices me up, man. It keeps the fire alive when I see people ripping. Like it really is like it helps me as much as it helps them.
Awesome.
I'm like, this is so cool, and I'm just happy that it exists, man. I'm so happy the way skateboarding is right now. I'm amazed that so many different people from so many different walks of life are getting into it, young, old. Like skateboarding has helped me so much with just figuring out who I am and what I love, that when I see it for any other person, when I can see them and they're enjoying it, it's just, that's the fire that we all need,
Yeah. Some people ask me like, hey, why'd you start skateboarding at 41? That's when I started.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I wouldn't say I started skateboarding at 41. I started learning tricks at 41. So I skated. I grew up in San Diego. And when you grow up, everyone has a skateboard. That's just the way it is in the 80s. And I didn't have any tricks. I went fast everywhere. Like that was skateboarding to me. Go as fast as you can, everywhere you can, hit a hill, maybe build a launch ramp, maybe a slappy board slide at best. Like that was skateboarding. And then tricks started to come along. Like I grew up like in the same elementary school through high school, like Willie Santos and those dudes. When you see those guys skate, you don't realize that they're the future of skateboarding. You're just like, man, I suck, So, I went the athletic route versus the skateboarding route, but it was always in me just culturally growing up in San Diego. Like I love skateboards, I like watching it, like just the art, I like everything about it. And when I realized I needed something for myself, I was at a year-long school, and I was living in my RV for that school and left my family back here in North Carolina. And got there as football season. We were, grilling and, drinking beer and watching football games. I was like, this is great. And then football season ended. Weather went bad. Everyone went to their own RV to drink their own beer. And I was like, man, I got 7 combat tours. Probably the last thing I need to do is go sit in an RV by myself and drink beer. Like that sounds like a terrible, terrible choice. So I had a cruiser board, and I was like, well, I'm going to go find someplace to skate. And I was in El Paso, and El Paso has amazing skate parks, like things that I didn't realize how far skate parks could come, because there was no skate parks in every city when I grew up. They've got a Deer Deck Plaza. They've got huge bowls, like just amazing skate parks. I was like, oh man, I think I'm going to go skate. And I was like, can I learn how to ollie? I spent like a month every day for an hour after class, just trying to get a good rolling ollie. That's all I wanted, and then I got it, and I like filmed it on a GoPro, and wanted to send it to my wife back here to check it out. And I don't know how to use Google Drive. I don't know anything about, technology. And I was like, well, I'll just put it on YouTube and you can just watch it there. I had no idea that other people would like find it. Right. Yeah. So then other people are like commenting and like giving advice. I'm like, who are these people? So I'm like clicking on their channels, to figure out who they are. I was like, man, there's like a whole culture of people been in their 30s to their 60s getting back into skateboarding. I was like, I think that's amazing. But at the same time, it makes sense because we all grew up in the 70s and 80s when skateboarding was like, it was ours. It was growing. It was all over the US. So it kind of makes sense that as people get the means and the time or the ability to do something for themselves, like that's what they would gravitate back to. So I wouldn't say I started skateboarding at 41. I would say I started trying to learn some tricks at 41.
I love it, man. I'm so grateful for everyone that's older, that's getting back into it and like finding that youthful spirit, because I really feel like these kids nowadays need more leaders around them. Like people, they need examples of healthy, happy adults that aren't scared to learn something in front of a kid and learn how to communicate with little kids and become friends and like be solid examples, because we need more of that. So I love it, man, because I see little 12-year-olds hanging out with 40-year-old people at the skate park, and they're both just trying to learn something together. And you're having a great time, you know? And it's like,
yeah,
what more could you want?
There's a lot of freedom to it too. You know, what I hope the kids see when they see guys like me out there is we're not trying to go pro. We're not trying to make something of it. We're skateboarding for the purpose of skateboarding. But too many people are out there trying to make it their life, which is great if you can. But you got to skateboard for skateboarding first.
Yeah, if you do that, you might be able to make it your life, because then you'll fall in love with skating, and then if you really want to pursue it even further, then you'll have the love, you know.
Absolutely.
Agreed, man.
I think it's awesome. What else?
That happens though. People get cart ahead of the horse, you know.
Also, not to interrupt. Also, got other stuff in this box.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Got the beanie. Winter coming up. Had to grab the beanie.
That's the warmest beanie you're gonna get.
It looks warm, man. It looks warm. I like the gray and the red. So I wanted to ask you about the apparel, because you do have some pretty high quality dope stuff. Do you test all the samples? What is that process to decide, okay, here's the graphic I want, but what do I want to put that on? And okay, I'm going to sell this at a higher point. It's got to meet the expectations. I would assume this is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Just figuring out what to put your business on.
So like I said, I work in a factory, and we decorate apparel. So I see clothes coming through all day long. Hell yeah, good fit for you too.
Bam.
So I
look 30 years younger.
It makes you look handsome.
Yeah.
I'm around clothes all day long. Monday through Friday, I'm around all types of jackets, hoodies, beanies. And when I first started out, I learned, I was like, whoa, man, I need to make sure that this is quality. Someone's going to spend their money on it. I got to make sure I'm proud of this thing. And since I'm around so much apparel, I know what's a little cheaper and what's quality, you know, and it is a full-time job, just trying to keep an eye open for all that stuff and put it all on, test it all out, make sure it lasts. It's not going to fall apart.
Yeah.
That's something you learn too with the brand, is you'd rather make something of quality and sell it for a higher point and maybe sell less, but then you satisfy more customers because they get that and they realize wow, I spend more than I wanted, but I'm going to keep buying from them because I know it's going to last and it's good. That beanie will last you, you know?
It's dope. It is warm. I can feel it in here. It's warm.
Yeah. So
good for this winter.
So that's something I learned was man, you could get something a little cheaper, sell it a little cheaper. Maybe you'll sell a bunch more, but they might not come back. So I really focus on making sure I have the best quality apparel, and that they'll come back because they know that they get it. They stoke, they wear it. They love that fucking hoodie or that t-shirt, and they want to get more down the road. You know?
100%. Like I said, when I bought this shirt, I was just buying because I just want to support the channel and your shop and everything you're doing. And then when it arrived, I was like, oh man, I got my money's worth. So when it came time to make the next order, it wasn't a question of, oh man, do I really want that? Yeah, I want it because I know whatever I'm going to get is going to be quality and it's going to come with some care. You know? Yeah,
exactly,
so,
man.
Absolutely.
That's rad, man. I appreciate that feedback, and that's exactly what I'm aiming for, man. Is I like that. When anyone who buys something from the brand, I just that's a relationship, you know. And I never want to let people down in a relationship if I don't have to.
Some stickers. Try to find a sticker pack on your site, man. You didn't sell any sticker packs, but you hooked me up.
Yeah, I do have stickers, and I usually hook them up with every online order, or I give them out at the skate parks and stuff. I definitely want to do more stickers. I have so much art, and I would love to make a lot of different stickers. It's something I just have to carve out some time to do and make some sticker packs.
There was a cool metal pin when I bought the shirt, and I was like, that was extra. That was nice.
Yeah, man. Those are the things I get super excited, and I'm like, I could put them online and sell them, but I'm kind of excited, and I just want to put extra in the box because I just like seeing things come to reality. I'm like, what if we did an all I need pin? And then sometimes they're like, oh, you're not going to sell them all. I'm like, I don't really care at this point. I just want to we'll sell something else and I'll put it in the box. It's just got to exist.
Right. Just got to exist. Awesome. You know, because I could take that and put it on a suit.
Hell yeah.
And no one would even question it. Oh, it's that. It's my lapel pin. You know, don't sweat it. You know, that's awesome. All right. Let's see. Make sure we cover all the bases here. do you screen print the shirts, or do you have everything made outside?
So they screen print it all right at my work.
Wow.
Yes, I have a desk there, and I've screen printed a little bit, but mostly it's just my friends that they do it for a living. So I get to go in there and watch every process and watch it go down. The embroidery on that beanie, we have wall-to-wall embroidery machines, and they're all my friends working in there. And I just walk in, and I'm like, we discuss the job, like what color threads, like where's the placement going. Like we walk through every little bit of the details. And same with the screen printing. It's like I go in, I watch the screens made, I watch them line it all up. We go pick out all the inks, and we discuss the placement, and we do the sample ones. We do a couple sample ones, make sure it's right. And so like I don't actually physically screen print them. Yeah. I have in the past, but mostly it's just my friends doing it, which is rad. Awesome. Because they're working there too, and they feel invested in the brand because they're helping create the product. And I started working in this warehouse. It's a screen print and apparel and embroidery warehouse, and I started there during the recession, just catching other people's brands at the end of the heater. Like nobody wants to catch at the end of the belt. There's a big oven that you run it all through to cure it. And like in August and July, it's like, oh man, hell yeah. You're drenched, you're sweating, you're catching 5 jobs at once, and you're counting, and I'm in finishing. So I'm counting, I'm organizing, I'm tagging, I'm boxing, I'm making sure it's all together. And, I took that job because I started working there, and I could just tell no one wanted to do it. Yeah. And I just was like, I was kind of going through some hardship, and like when I go through hell, I just like to work through it. So I was like, I'll take that fucking job, and I'm going to try to do it the best I can. Yep. And I get angry, like, and just like work harder when I get angry. So like 100, I would be at the end of that belt, like almost in tears, because I just had a lot going on, and I was catching all this stuff and all these other brands, and it's hot as shit, but I kind of liked it. I was just like in hell, but doing it, like working through it, man. And I caught so many different brands and other people's dreams, and it gave me like an appreciation. I like wanted to do it because I was like, this is like what I want to do. I want to have my brand, and I want it to be like packaged up good and shipped out to the people with care. So like I learned that through catching other people's clothes and folding them and counting them and making sure there was no mistakes and all that. If I'm gonna put
this much effort and care into other people's stuff, why not put it into mine?
Yeah, you learn that. You learn that as you do that, for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate your time, man. Is there anything you want to close out with to the good peoples of the interwebs?
Yeah, man. Just check out the podcast. It's All I Need Podcast on. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. Link. Yeah, please. The video version's on our YouTube channel. Please check that out. It's All I Need Skate on YouTube. We put up videos weekly, and it's from the heart. Every video is a labor of love. I don't care if it was 1 million people or 1 people watching. It's the same to me because we just love doing it. So yeah, YouTube channel, the podcast. Check out the product. Check out the decks. Check out the artwork. It's our blood, sweat, and tears. So yeah, thanks for the support, man. I really appreciate you copping the merchandise.
Like I said at the beginning, like if I'm gonna go ahead and do an unboxing, like who am I to talk about this product when you can really, give it its soul, So I really appreciate you taking the time to do this for my little channel.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it, dude. And
all right, that ended a little abruptly. We just kept talking about other stuff, but just between me and him. But like that was awesome. Great experience. Very fortunate that he gave me some of his time and spoke so freely, and I really appreciated it. And I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Definitely a long one, but well worth it. So check out the videos, check out his podcast, and check out the All I Need website. Like I'm telling you, the merchandise, I don't even like to call it merchandise. Like his apparel is high end, and the boards and the graphics are sick. I'm definitely going to set up the board I got with some Thunders and some Spitfire tablets, and it's going to be awesome. And you'll see that some other time. But until then, stay rad.